This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Things are getting worse and worse for George Santos, but also for the Republican Party. With a razor-thin majority in the House of Representatives, they need every non-functioning agent of chaos in their seats as they can have. And that is why they will never come against George Santos. That is why they will never come against one of their own, no matter how deplorably they act, no matter how serially criminal they act. Not necessarily the way it is on the other side. I've called for Senator Menendez to resign. I've read the details of the case. The evidence seems overwhelming against him. It's not a good look, even if he's innocent, to be indicted. To allow the good order and agenda of the Democrats to move on, you need to step aside to not be a distraction. Not the case if you're a Republican. Here is a statement from the Department of Justice from Breon Peace, the United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York. A 23-count superseding indictment was filed today in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of New York, charging George Anthony DeVolder Santos, better known as George Santos, the United States representative for the 3rd District of New York, with 1 count of conspiracy to commit offenses to the United States, 2 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of making materially false statements to the Federal Election Commission, 2 counts of falsifying records submitted to obstruct the FEC, 2 counts of aggravated identity theft, and 1 count of access device fraud. In addition to the 7 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of money laundering, 1 count of theft of public funds, and 2 counts of making material of false statements to the United States House of Representatives that were charged in the original indictment, Santos is due back in federal court in Central Islip on October 27th, 2023. Breon Peace, United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, Nicole, and it gives the list anyway. So, and here's a quote that I definitely wanted to get on the record here. Quote, as alleged, Santos is charged with stealing people's identities and making charges on his own donors' credit cards without their authorization, lying to the FEC and by extension the public about the financial state of his campaign. Santos falsely inflated the campaign's reported receipts with non-existent loans and contributions that were either fabricated or stolen. This office will relentlessly pursue criminal charges against anyone who uses the electoral process as an opportunity to defraud the public and our government institutions. And not a peep from Republicans to ask this guy to leave. When people make a political contribution, they use their credit card. Oftentimes, most times. It's very rare that people are actually writing a check and cutting a check. We live in 2023, 2024 going into. You know, you understand the monetary system. You understand the payment system. It's electronic. So when he has a list of credit card numbers from donors and he uses those credit cards to make purchases, it would be like going to a restaurant and then the restaurant staff using your card number to buy TVs at Best Buy. Sitting United States Congressman, Republican, not being called to resign. There is a movement afoot right now from New York Republicans to get him to resign, but it's isolated. It's not a widespread movement. Here, I want to show you what his response to all of this is. He's being followed through the Capitol, through the office building to his office, and he is in panic mode, being asked about this on his phone, frantic. Watch him retreat with vigor.
No comment. I did not have access to my phone.
Prosecutors say you defrauded the American public. Will you resign?
Of what you guys are talking about. No, I will not. Excuse me.
They said that you stole people's identities. Did you steal people's identities? Did you commit identity
Are you
fraud?
still going to vote in the
voter?
speaker's
What do you have
Will
to
you
say
step
to your
down?
constituents?
I will not. I have no comment. I was in conference like everyone else without my phone, so I have nothing to talk about. I need to take a look at what.
Did you commit large fraud? That was a pretty
did
basic
not.
question.
The
Did you
answer
identity
to that
fraud?
is no. Are you okay, sir? Yeah.
Did you charge to your credit card donors money? Did you use their credit cards to reward yourself? That's the allegation.
No. I will look at it.
Why shouldn't you be able to vote? Why shouldn't you be able to vote in the speaker's election? Such a key election when you've been charged with all these crimes.
Not a great look. Those aren't activist journalists either. That was Manu Raju at the end there from CNN. These are mainstream journalists just asking questions about these accusations, about these indictments. See, it goes beyond just accusation. A grand jury has witnessed with their eyes and heard with their ears testimony backing up these allegations. These are also electronic transfers. There is evidence of this in bank records. This is more than just a hunch. You may know, I've mentioned it a few times, I served on a federal grand jury. I was on the grand jury in Orange County that indicted Michael Avenatti for stealing from his clients. And in that case, there was voluminous evidence. It wasn't a hunch of a prosecutor. Trust us, just vote to indict. We saw all kinds of insane, reprehensible things. Same thing here. There are digital records. There are likely paper records. There are bank records. There's all kinds of evidence that have led them to this, the original indictment, and now the 23-count superseding indictment. This is what Manu Raju had to say. This is the most updated thing relative to this case. This is on Twitter. George Santos, sitting down with a small group of reporters this morning, said he won't accept a plea deal, won't resign, and will run for re-election. He denies all the charges in the 23-count indictment. I'm pretty much denying every last bit of charges, he told us. You're pretty much denying it. Well, that's not a full-throated denial. That's pretty much I'm denying these charges. Pretty much. Or unequivocally, without a doubt, no reservation, no hesitation. I deny this. I did not do this. I pretty much deny it. Crickets from Republicans. Nothing to say. No calls for him from any member with any power whatsoever. He needs to go. And the reason is they need their majority. They don't care about law and order. They don't care about the rule of law. They don't care about that. They care about political power. There is also a slim majority in the Senate, and many, many people, including his fellow New Jersey senator, have called for him to resign. At the very least, to not be a distraction from the agenda of the country and the Senate, more specifically. You don't see that from Republicans because they don't care. Do you care? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. I'd love to hear from you. Excuse me. I'm still getting number. I took yesterday off to try to get through this, and I have a headache. It's not great. I'm testing negative for COVID, but yeah, maybe it's just a cold. Haven't had a cold in so long. It's either cancer or a cold. It's one of those polar opposites. Anyway, if you appreciate what I do and you want to help support my work, click the join button below, become a channel member for $2 a month, hit the super thanks button, or if you're already giving to somebody on Patreon, maybe that's your preferred method of support. Go to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast, which doesn't just help the podcast. It absolutely supports what we do here. I love and appreciate you. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore, and I will see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.